On this week's GTA 6 o'clock, is another delay incoming, GTA 6 pricing revealed, and a new earnings call this week. It's all here on this week's GTA 6 o'clock. Hello and welcome to episode 85 of GTA 6 o'clock, your number one source for GTA news, rumours and conversation. I am your host, James JJ Jarvis, and in a week where rumours of another delay are circulating, I'm here to discuss everything GTA. Of course, it is helpful to do that with someone else, but this week it's just me and you, the loyal listeners. Yes, Dan is off sick, so please comment below at just how brave I am to bring you this episode on my own. Okay. Shall we get into it? The big news this week is, of course, the rumours of another slip in the release date. Now, I will say that there's almost nothing to base this on, and personally, I'm not convinced right now, but we are here to discuss everything GTA related, so let's discuss this. As we talked about in last week's GTA 6 o'clock newsletter, this info has come from a user on X called Millie, who does have some history of leaks beforehand, like the Wolverine trailer being in the PlayStation showcase that was tweeted a few days before. But the GTA 6 delay bundles post has now been deleted, which I guess you can spin whichever way you want. But let's look at the GTA stuff. The top line is that GTA 6 could slip into September 2026, and that some of the pricing info has been revealed. We will take these one at a time. Firstly, the wording could slip into September, I think is very important. Anything could happen. It could come out next month. It won't. So let's look at how likely this is. Of course, we shouldn't forget that the current date of May the 26th is already 6 months later than the original date of what we think was November of this year, which would have meant if they'd stuck to that, we would have been only 3 months away from playing GTA 6. Imagine that. But don't imagine it too hard, because we should concentrate on May 26th. And that date is a very specific date, and it's something that Strauss-Zelnick has referenced before, saying, in reference to that delay, it's a pretty short delay, it's less than 6 months, and generally when we announce a date, we're able to hit that date. Pushing this into September 2026 would mean a further 4-month delay, taking the total number to 10 months, which is, basically a year. Now, Rockstar, of course, does have a history of the double delay, so it wouldn't be a huge surprise for this to happen, but we haven't had a move from a specific date with a GTA game before. We've definitely had movement from when the period was announced, like spring, winter, Q1, Q3, anything like that. But once a game is dated, generally, it tends to stick to that. I'm not saying that it can't move this time, but that date of May 26th, 2026 is also a reference to Bonnie and Clyde, which we know that the story is loosely based around that kind of relationship. So there's a lot of things here that match up, and moving away from that date puts a lot of that in jeopardy. Now, if you want to dive a bit deeper into this, Rockstar also tend to favour the latter part of the year to release their games. GTA 5 was in September the 17th on PS3, November the 18th on PS4, Vice City was October the 29th, GTA 3 October in 21, and Red Dead 2 came out in October 2018. But then the flip side of that is the original Red Dead was released in May 2010, GTA 5 on PS5 came out in March 2022, LA Noire May, GTA 4 April. So basically, you can argue this both ways, is what I'm saying. And then we have the issue of the price. The new pricing tiers, early online access, and PS5 marketing and console bundles. The rumour circulating on X is that the standard edition is going to cost $70, the deluxe edition is going to cost $90 and include early GTA Online access, and the premium edition will cost $110 and include first GTA Online access. Now, $70 for the standard edition is in line with the current pricing for games, and it's actually not the $100 price mark that another rumour has suggested. But this feels even more flaky to me, as those prices just aren't how the retail market works. They mostly hate round numbers, so $70 would become $69.99. It's actually like Retail 101 and has a name called psychological pricing or price ending or charm pricing. Now, this is based on the theory that certain prices have a psychological impact. In the pricing method, retail prices are often expressed as below numbers. So that's numbers that are just a little less than a round number. For example, $19.99 or £2.98. There is evidence that consumers tend to perceive just below prices as being lower than they are, tending to round down to the lowest monetary unit. Thus, prices such as $1.99 may in some degree be associated with spending $1 rather than $2, for example. So if these prices were legit, I would expect them to be $69.99 rather than a whole number of $70. Now, the concept of deluxe and premium editions coming with advanced GTA Online access just feels likely to me. I don't think this gives this rumor any more weight, but it is something that I say is pretty likely when the bundles and the different editions of the game do roll around. And $110 for the premium edition with an inflatable crocodile and early or first access to GTA Online, sign me up. And now for everyone's favourite subject, an earnings call. Yes, that's right. Take-Two is going to hold its next earnings call this week on August 7th. So that is actually tomorrow as you're listening to this, if, of course, you are listening to this on Wednesday, the 6th of August. Now, the big question here is, will there be any GTA 6 news in this call? And I'm going to confidently say no. If Dan was here, he'd say it's not 100%, but you know what? I'm willing to say it is 100% going to be a business as normal call. Even if there were slight internal murmurings going on about timeframes at this stage, we're not going to hear about any of that in an earnings call until much closer to the current launch date. So I'd say like the next earnings call in November, or maybe the February or March one, that is the time when we might start hearing about things. Around that time, it probably won't even be in the earnings call. It would be in the days preceding it to just set everyone up to let the market know where they're at in the production of GTA 6. But right now, for this earnings call, I think it's very much going to be a case of carry on as we're carrying on. Will someone ask the question, or any questions about GTA 6 for that matter? I'm going to say almost certainly. I think we'll get people asking quite woolly questions like, how are things progressing with your current projects? Hint, hint, GTA 6. And I'm pretty confident the response to that will be something along the lines of, we're very excited about the launch and the team at Rockstar are committed to bringing the best experience to the players, and we'll have more to share on that in the future. That is not a direct quote, but I will challenge any of you listeners to listen to that earnings call, see if there are any questions about GTA 6, and see how close I am with that prediction of anything that is mentioned in terms of how things are progressing with GTA 6. I do not expect anything to come out of this other than things are going well, we are still tracking, we will let you know if anything changes in the future. And with that, I think you've heard enough of me talk to myself in this little room for this week, but we will definitely be back next week with more in-depth analysis on these topics and reports from the earnings call, as well as anything else that has come up. If you've got anything you want us to talk about, please get in touch on Twitter at GTAV0clock. You can email us at gtavi0clock@gmail.com. You can sign up for the newsletter, gamesradar.com/newsletter. Maybe it's newsletters. Dan's not here. Put both in, see what happens. There might not be a newsletter this week because, as mentioned, Dan is off sick, so he might actually not get round to doing a newsletter, but let's see. And also, everything that we've discussed in this episode is pretty much what the newsletter said last week, so that'll be a challenge for him either way. But most of the time, that newsletter is full of great content, so do go and sign up for it. If you are listening on YouTube, don't forget to comment about how brave I am to bring you this episode all on my own. And I guess you could say, get well soon to Dan or whatever if you feel like it. While you're there, why not hit the subscribe button? That would be great if you can subscribe. It really helps us out. It really helps the channel out. And it gets these episodes pushed out far and wide in the YouTube algorithm. So Thank you all for listening this week. I'm sorry it's a short one. We will get back on track next week when we return for another episode of GTA 6 o'clock.